Welcome to Indie Break, the show that breaks down independent artists' careers, the moves they made, and why they made those moves. Boom, welcome back to another episode of Indie Break. Today I have my guy Jgriff, and Jgriff does a ton of things. He's a graphic designer, an artist, a skateboarder, an engineer, a fiance. What am I missing?
Let's see. I mow lawns.
He mows lawns. Mows lawns. This is an important episode just because I feel like the goal for independent artists is to live off of what they love doing, right? And so I guess speak to me, in doing all these different things, are you living solely off of your creativity?
Yeah, I've never had like an actual job. I've always just tried to keep it up with all the side hustles, just seeing how I could monetize my art into something I could live off of.
Got you. So what came first? What was the first thing that you started making money off of?
Great question. Probably skating. That was really my first passion, and I started doing that when I was 10, but obviously I wasn't making money at 10. It took a couple of years after that.
Okay, so what's like the first thing that popped off in skating where you could make money?
That would probably just be like getting sponsored, and there's different levels to that. So it's like you don't just start getting paid and stuff. It's like so there's these companies, and like they're typically smaller companies when you first start, because like you have to establish yourself, and they don't have like the budget for that kind of stuff yet. So they just kind of send you free product. Okay. And that could be like an every other month thing, or it could just be like a once every couple month. Like,
and that's just with the product.
Yeah, that's just products. Yep. And then as I was able to grow my pages on social media, I was able to contact bigger companies who had bigger budgets. So it was like more of a consistent thing with just like free product. Yeah. And then I was able to leverage like some kind of contract where I could get paid from doing that.
Okay. And so were you the first one? Was it you reached out and got them, or companies saw you and were like, yo, we want to send you gear, or a combination of both?
It's definitely a combination of both. I feel like a super like go-getter when it comes to this stuff. So I'm typically the person reaching out first. But from doing that so much, it's kind of snowballed into now companies reach out to me.
Other people seeing
and it used to be like it would be hard to say no. And I feel like that's a common thing in any industry.
Yeah. No, when something kind of comes across the plate and you've never had anything where you've made money before, you've never had a clothing sponsor or anything, it's like, the clothes are okay, but like it's a sponsor, it's something, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like even as an artist, it's the exact same thing, right? Like first time I got hit up for anything was, I think, this company called Nerds Clothing, who now they do like all the WWE stuff, and they were just like, yo, wear our stuff. And it like, I didn't love the brand necessarily, but it was like, oh, I'm getting free clothes and they're going to post about it. And, you know, it's a cool little perk and it could build into something. And then it was like, oh, well, now they're going to pay me to wear the clothes. And so, everything is kind of a stepping stone, but having that go-getter mentality, like they reached out first, but then after they did, then that's when I started reaching out and being like, oh, this is a thing. Like I could actually get paid to wear people's stuff. And then I went on an email tear of, just messaging hella people. So kind of same for you, right?
Yeah, dude, I do the same thing. And actually, I feel like in the past 6 months, I just kind of revisited that whole process because I haven't done it in a while. Yeah. But I'm like, I kind of want to like redo my whole closet. So I just went on a DMing spree and an emailing spree.
And it worked?
And we're all good now.
What would you say is the percentage of responses you get? If you reach out to 100 companies, how many respond?
Ooh, that's a great question. I would say probably about half.
Okay, that's actually really good. Okay.
Yeah, I think going through email, the companies like tend to not answer, or it's going through like a customer service thing, and it never gets to like the correct person.
Right.
But with a DM, it's typically like either the owner or someone who works closely with the team, or if it is customer service, they could send me over the Instagram page. Of like the right person to talk to.
Well, and speaking of DMing, one of the things you do is marketing and you help people get verified. So you being verified, sliding into DMs probably helps a lot because you go to the top of their feed and just the blue check speaks for itself, kind of, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you see a change in responses being verified compared to not being verified? Is it different?
Definitely. And it's super weird because at the end of the day, it's just like literally a blue check, like,
Right.
but it's just like huge, like social media, like status symbol almost.
Right,
And it
right.
makes no sense, but
It works.
It works.
Yeah, if you guys need to get verified, this is your guy, Jgriff. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to set up an affiliate or something so we can get a kick. But this is your guy, Jgriff. So okay, you do skateboarding, you start getting paid off of that, and then what comes next? Or I guess actually a good question is, if you don't mind me asking, like how much? Like what is a deal? Like what's a small deal you've done and what's like the biggest deal you've done in that industry kinda? If you don't mind talking about it.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I would say a smaller deal. I rode for a headphone company for a while.
Okay.
And they didn't really do too much with money, but it was like they would send me a ton of headphones and a ton to give away. So I would be like scheduled to do like 2 giveaways a year, which is nothing, you know, it's just like 2 posts. And I think I would have to post like once a month about them, but I was always using their product or wearing their shirt.
Right.
So that was never an issue. And I think they were paying like $300 every quarter, which really
4 times a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that really wasn't bad, you know, like that was a good start. And I feel like going forward, it's not like a long-term contract. It's more like campaigns. I think there was one point, I want to say like 4 years ago, I got a partnership with Aeropostale, and that one was sick because they just gave me a gift card to go on their website and pick out clothes, and then they paid me like $500 on top of that just to do one single post.
That's hard.
So that was dope because it was like a one and done kind of thing.
Did you reach out to them or they reach out to you?
At that time, my cousin JP, he was kind of like managing me. Okay. So he would take like a certain percentage and he would reach out to these bigger companies.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but he has like a really strong background in marketing and just like networking and talking to people. So he's the person who like taught me how to like word everything. Because growing up, it's like I could slide into DMs.
If you're not doing it the right way, it doesn't work. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So I had to practice that a lot. And it's something that I still work on because if you could get better, you could capitalize on like a lot more.
Facts. Okay. So those were that one was one singular post. The other one was quarterly. Is there any other like deal structures that you've seen from sponsorships?
Yeah, I feel like right now, a lot of my sponsors are just kind of like flowing me product, and I'm sponsored by Osiris Shoes.
Hard.
And they send me like a ton of shoes every like month or two, and it just kind of keeps me going because like skaters go through shoes like in like a week, it feels like.
Right.
So that's definitely like helped save me money, and I could use that money and invest it into other things.
Other stuff. Okay. Cool. So when did you get from skateboarding into music?
So I've always been into music in the aspect of like listening to it all the time. I grew up listening to you, so it's really dope to be here.
Yeah.
But I would say I started writing music when I was in about 5th grade.
Oh wow.
But I only really wrote it and I had no idea where to get started with like recording or anything.
Yeah.
And then flash forward to maybe 2016. I'm not sure if you're familiar with No Love for the Middle Child, but he came over to my crib to drop off concert tickets because he's in my town.
Oh, that's
and
crazy.
I was teaching him how to skate, and then he gave me the tickets to his show with Zero, and I was just kind of asking him about music, like, yo, how can I get started? Like, I've had a passion for it, and I just don't know what equipment to get, like really what to do at all. So he kind of like told me just to like follow my heart and do it if I want to do it. Like, why wait?
Right. That's hard. Yeah. Had no idea. That's crazy.
Small world.
I forgot. Yeah. Zero, No Love. They're both in Philly.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, in LA now.
Yeah.
But from Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Zero might be moving back to Philly too.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. I think he might be moving back. Inside scoop. You heard it here first. Zero is coming back home. Okay, dope. So he told you kind of like, just go for it, right? Fuck it. Just go. Do it.
And then a couple months after that, my headphone sponsor, I was just talking about, and this was another thing I forgot to mention. They paid for me to go on like a little trip. So I I drove out to North Carolina, and it was like literally like a day trip. Like, I'm not sure why. I think there was like a holiday the next day, so like we were there for 18 hours and drove right back.
Okay.
So we went out there, and another one of my teammates, he was out there, so we got to collab on all this content, and like he hooked it up with some products from his sponsors, and I hooked him up. So it was like a nice little exchange.
Yeah, collabing.
And then so in skating, I would drop video parts all the time. So I would go out and street skate, and that's typically in places where you're not supposed to be skating. So you would get like kicked out and all that stuff. And I would film like, there were some years where I did multiple, but typically it's like one video part a year. And the part I was doing at the time, he did this song in it, and he did the intro animation. So that was kind of before my graphic design days.
Right.
So he was also in North Carolina. So I stayed at his place. And he had like a little closet studio, and that's where like I actually recorded my first song. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna be like a one and done kind of thing. And I got home, I bought a mic right away, and I was recording every single day.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's what's up. So yeah, the skating actually gave you the opportunity to be around somebody 2 times, to be around somebody that helped you in the next part, which is the music part.
Yeah.
That's super hard. Okay, dope. Yeah, I think that's something to keep in mind is like, if you're doing things that you love, that they don't always end up exactly going how you expect, but they can lead you to other things you love, right? It's like people go to college and they think they want to master in this thing, and then they get into college and they do a couple introductory courses and find some other shit that they love way more, and then they do that. And the music industry is the same way. So as long as you're doing what you love, you can end up in a place of happiness and in the right positions.
Oh yeah, no, and it's super weird how life works, because like through meeting Andrew, or that's No Love's real name, but since meeting him, it's like he gave me those concert tickets. I went to that show, and I was networking with all the openers. I feel like it's always good to just kind of tell them like they did good.
Yeah. And
that's how I met Alex Catronbone, who's my business partner with the marketing thing, and he's like really mentored me in music, and he kind of showed me like what new equipment to level up to, and like how to mix stuff, and like to actually make it sound like easy on the ear, you know, because when you start, it's like everything is super harsh and like not good.
Facts, yeah.
So then I think I went to another show, and it was your show in 2016. It was As Seen on the Internet tour, and Zero opened.
Yep, exactly.
And that was, or maybe that's how, I think that was before actually, because that's how I learned about Zero. And then Andrew. Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't know if Zero was doing his own shows before that.
Yeah.
And he was still on his super just rap stuff. He wasn't doing rock stuff at that time.
Oh yeah, and he's so good at both. It makes no sense.
Yeah, he's super fire. Okay, so now that you've been skateboarding for all this time, you dove into music. Naturally, I assume you just started engineering your own stuff because you really had no other. Not that you didn't have any choices, but it's just easier to record yourself and kind of learn that, which is a skill that is very necessary, I feel like, for most artists, especially starting out. If you can engineer your own stuff, you save yourself a ton of money, you save yourself a ton of time, and just convenience of being able to not be on a clock as you're recording. So you got all the equipment, you started recording yourself, you started learning how to engineer. The homie Alex, you said his name was helping you out with that. Do you engineer for anybody else?
Yeah, so that's another one of my side hustles, and I think I did it a lot more back when I was like on campus before like COVID hit at college, and I was really the only like dorm room studio on campus, so I would have everybody who was into music come to my room, and there would be nights where I would just knock out my homework and make like a couple $100 and just record the rest of the night. Yeah, and I would be like dead tired, because I would stay up to like 3 a.m, but I'm like, yo, like I gotta get this bread. I'm giving other people a chance to make music, and like I know what that's done for me, and I just love giving people that feeling of like, yo, like I did this. Yeah,
you do a lot of things for other people because you're recording people, and you're also doing graphic design.
Yeah, and I think
so. Where does that fall into the equation of this whole thing? When did you start doing graphic design?
I think really when I started doing my own songs, I started off on SoundCloud. I would just like throw pictures into an app, kind of put text on it, throw it up on SoundCloud, and I think most of them are deleted now, but once I got to all platforms, again, I thought I would just do like one album and then leave, but like I didn't realize like this wasn't just like a hobby, like it was a passion.
Right.
So it's like, I think the cover art for my first album was fan art that was just sent to me. I'm like, yo, that's fucking dope.
That's dope. Yeah, yeah.
And then I think every single project after that has just been my art, and it just kind of progressed to the point where like, yo, like I know how to use Photoshop, I could do this. And then I started selling my services to other people. And yeah, I think it's really worked out.
So with doing all of these things, I think something which we actually talked a little bit about before we hopped on the on Indie Break is time management.
Yeah.
How the hell do you go to school, skateboard, get content, do graphic design, reach out to all these companies, make music, help other people make music? That's 7, 8 things. Mow lawns.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's 8 things that you're doing. How do you balance that, and what keeps you focused, and what keeps you like going? And are you ever overwhelmed?
Yeah, I would say there's at least like 1 or 2 days a week where I'm just like super burnt out, but
Yeah.
I really live for this, and I just make a to-do list in my phone.
Yeah.
And there's some stuff where it's like I don't have a deadline, so that kind of stays on there for longer.
Yeah.
But if I have to do graphics, like I always try to get them back like in 24 hours if possible, unless it's like some huge project.
Yeah.
And I just kind of make a checklist, and it feels good for me to check it off and like not have to worry about it. Like I have
Facts.
happy customers, and I feel like I'm really being productive with my day.
For sure. Okay, so pretty much just living off the checklist is the main thing, and then kind of prioritizing that checklist as you go.
Yeah.
So do you have time for family, friends? Like what's that balance like, especially being as young as you are? Like how does that, all your friends are probably going out, drinking, clubbing, doing whatever, like, and you're at the crib. I mean, there's times where you call me and it's like 9:00 here, so it's like midnight on the East Coast. So how do you kind of keep that balance, and have you lost anything in the process, and how do you feel about the balance?
It's tough. It's definitely something I'm still working on. I tend to overwork, but to me it's not work. It's just fun, and I'm trying to like reach my daily goal.
Right.
And I try not to think too far into the future, because I feel like there's so many people who get caught up like, oh, like in 5 years I have to be performing in like sold out arenas, and
Right.
I need to be there, and then they don't take steps to get there,
Yep.
So I try to focus on all the small steps. And yeah, my fiance tells me I'm like a god at manifesting. So that's good to hear, because I really just like speak about what I want to do, and then I do it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a good point. Like I kind of teeter that line on both sides. Like I've always had long-term goals and short-term goals, and I think that, like I said, your long-term goals can potentially change. Like what I thought I wanted when I was 20, what I thought I wanted at 25 wasn't really it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when I got to being 25, so when you look back at the whole equation, it's like, oh, I kind of did get everything that I wanted. It's just in a little bit of a different way. And the way that you get there is the daily crushing it every day, crushing it every month, going through your to-do list, practicing healthy time management. And then you got to find time to still enjoy life. But I think, especially at the young age, one of the most important things you can do is just work your ass off. You know what I'm saying? Set yourself up for whatever your future is going to be. So the fact that like you get to choose and stay inside and work on things and collaborate with people and reach out is something extremely important. So yeah, great shit. What's kind of next for you? What's some of your short-term goals?
It changes every day.
Okay.
I feel like recently I've just been trying to get my graphic work out to new people. I just started the chromatrix.design page on Instagram, and I've been
Make sure you follow that.
And I've been posting on there pretty much every day, sometimes more than once a day. And I'm just trying to get my artwork out there. And I feel like bigger placements help. Obviously, like those don't come overnight. But from working with people like you, that's obviously opened up a huge door for me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I am with the graphics. I'm just trying to improve. I'm on Photoshop and Illustrator like every day, trying to learn something new. And even if it's not for somebody, I have a whole folder of just like artwork I created for fun.
Right.
And then later I could repurpose that and be like, oh, this kind of fits your single. Or like, yo, I made this t-shirt design, like Michael Manelli, here you go,
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah, you could flip the design, basically same design, flip some words, flip a picture here or there, and then boom, it's for this person or that person.
Yeah, so I'm really just trying to get better and like really professionalize my skills. And I think I'm going so hard with the graphics right now because I'm about to graduate college in 2 weeks. And that's crazy. So I'm just trying to like set myself up to really like have a defined style and just like the confidence I need to like do it in the real world. But I've been working so hard that there's really no big transition between school and real life.
Yeah, because you're already working in the real field right now, working with IndieAmplify, working with all these different artists and making merchandise and kind of doing a bunch of different things graphically. So are you living at the dorm right now?
No, so my campus is about 35 minutes away from my house, so I commute on Monday and Wednesday.
Okay.
So it's really not bad because I just have an hour and a half class. And then besides that, I'm doing stuff for you and Indie and just some freelance stuff on the side. And that's about it for my week with the graphic stuff. And then, of course, like there's the music, the skating, skateboarding, landscaping, all that.
Dope. What, if you don't mind me asking, what brings in the most revenue for you right now between everything you do?
I would say graphic design probably.
Graphic design, okay.
Or I guess I would tie that in with the marketing too.
Okay.
Because the verification process, like, it can be pretty pricey.
Yeah.
But it does hold that value at the end of the day. Like, if it was cheap, like, everyone would have it, and then it just wouldn't be what it is.
Exactly. Dope. Yeah, man, that's kind of all I wanted to chop it up about and kind of just show people that at the end of the day, you don't have to be the biggest artist in the world to live off of your music and live off of everything that you do, to live off your art, right? You don't have to kind of muzzle everything that you do in hopes of being this thing or that thing, right? Like you can kind of use all your skills, and your skills can blend together to get you opportunities, to get you good looks, and to move you up the food chain in whatever industry you're in, right? And
for sure.
I think that everything has a valuable role in this industry, and if you can do multiple things in the space, then you should. So yeah, you are a walking poster child for that, and we appreciate having you on and appreciate all the work you do for Indie. And if you guys are watching this interview, make sure that you use your skills to the best of your abilities. Make sure that you keep growing and learning in every single thing that you do every single day, and follow your dreams, but follow your heart and make sure you're happy. And if you do those things, everything is going to fall into place. You can manifest your future. And I think something you said was cool is you don't got to worry about too far in the future, right? Take it a day at a time. Have short-term goals, and those things will lead you to where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, but still make time for yourself and your family, because those are two important things. You can't miss out on those.
That's a big fact. Any last words? Anything you want to tell the people?
Just thank you for having me on. Like, this is crazy to be here. I'm actually in the studio. It's my first time out in Arizona, and it's dope out here.
Hell yeah, for sure. Make sure y'all follow him. Where can they follow you, your graphics, your skateboarding, your music, everything all in one place? Or
so my Instagram is Jgriff830, and my design Instagram is chromatrix.design. And if you go to the link in the Jgriff830 bio, that takes you to all my music, my merch store, pretty much everything.
For sure.
But yeah, Jgriff on all platforms too.
Hell yeah. Make sure you follow the boy Jgriff. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe. Many more indie breaks to come. We back, baby. Sheesh.